Yay.
Like shag carpet. I got like rotating bed and mirrors in the ceiling. Like, oh, this is a fuck pad.
Please. Just sit down.
You're our face of the thing.
Aren't you playing?
Continue. Oh, continue.
Continue.
This cannot continue. Hello, are we streaming?
Yes.
We're streaming?
We're streaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Play of Sherlock Holmes.
Onions?
On YouTube's bastard chat.
On this YouTube, this bastard, this neglected bastard. Okay, let me start again. Hello, welcome to Sherlock Holmes, Crime and Punishment, hosted on this neglected bastard of a YouTube channel. I'm Hunter, this is Joss, and out of screen and away, out of screen right here, is the creator of the channel, who doesn't play any games or star in any of his videos.
Except for his piano.
Except for when he's standing... No, that's a different channel. This is a different channel.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah. And so, we've had to... So, here we are, under threat of violence, as you can clearly see. Oh my god! Look at this. So, I'm the face of the channel, although I'm not playing the video game.
Because this is how this channel works.
This is how this channel works. The person who plays the games is a little camera shy. And I don't know what she is.
I don't know what am I. Who am I?
That's for you to decide.
No.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to...
We're obviously looking for Finland.
Where is it?
Right there.
It's a whale. Finland is a whale.
Finland is a whale.
Was it Hammerfest?
Yes.
Dundee.
Is it Hammerfeast
It's a
or
whaling map.
Hammerfest?
Incest.
No. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm in the way.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Not yet, Inspector. Not quite yet.
Ow!
One of these days, I think it's going to be loaded, and I'm just going to be bleeding and crying on the floor.
Yeah.
As you see my
Okay.
This is what it takes to stay to go unharassed on this channel. Is to hold the man at gunpoint.
Mr. Holmes?
The gun is down.
Where's the dart go?
Can you get in this place? Apparently not.
Nope. Never. The inside appears to be modeled and textured, but you cannot play the game.
No.
Okay.
There's a barrier. An invisible barrier.
We'll trust this to you.
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay. I'm unarmed, you fuck.
Is this your husband's
either.
tobacco pouch?
Okay.
I'm not sure, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there.
Okay.
It should be somewhere in his cabin.
It's aiming right at your asshole.
Thank you,
Yeah,
madam.
you bitch. I don't know.
Thank you, madam.
I don't know where... What did you do? I thought you got it.
I didn't get
Then there's something wrong with
So,
you. Shouldn't this bounce somewhere?
it. It probably bounced somewhere. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
It's not even where you could have found it, actually.
let's go around in circles until I find
Can I get my gun back?
no.
No. This is strictly...
Where's my...
This is clearly... This is now a... Gilbert doesn't have his gun free zone.
And you have a gun.
Yeah, it's
Why?
the restriction is only for Gilbert. and any Gilbert-like individuals. Are you a Gilbert-like individual? No. That is,
I might be
no, Gilbert is
Okay, just going to window examine.
policeman is.
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see
Ooh,
any
is this a
attempt
gun?
to break in.
But I do him, and I control him.
He just picked up
Mr.
a fucking
Holmes?
ruler and asked, "Is this a gun?" and started pointing it at me like, "Ah!"
What the hell?
I just the gun.
That was so loud. I thought you.
The weapon
I am
fully
very
penetrated
skinny.
the body.
Look,
The
no.
force of the
It
blow
was
was
just a
immense.
warning, okay?
It was a warning fart. It was a warning fart.
It was. It was.
Cool blood.
This is, you know,
Put that floppy thing
Are
away.
probably the initials of the owner of this
Yeah.
notebook.
What does it say?
Get into the game.
Oh! Open notebook. Oh.
Yeah.
These abbreviations mean something. But what?
ASM something.
Yeah. We got notes.
We got notes.
It's this thing. We love this thing.
My gun.
But holy shit, there's a lot of notes
Bastard.
pinned to these memories.
He's a non-smoker. No, he's not. Okay, break-in attempts.
He's a non-smoker.
No, he's a non-smoker. Peter has given up smoking a long time ago, but he still might have kept it in the pouch. Although his wife has not seen it before, she was forbidden to set foot inside the cabin. No gardener. So her husband took care of the garden himself. That does not sound feasible. She might be hiding something.
These are the facts that we gathered.
Okay. Into the
All of these are true.
Okay.
Ow!
Did you just whip yourself? Into the wall. Peter Carey's body was impaled on the wall with a harpoon through the chest, like a butterfly.
Like a butterfly.
What? Oh. There had been a tin box in the cabin, not much larger than a book. Peter Carey has forbidden anyone from touching it. Break-in attempt. Several unsuccessful attempts were made to break in according to scratches around the lock. A leather notebook with initials JHN is stained with blood, which indicates that it was dropped into the pool of blood after the murder.
I got an idea.
Yeah?
Let's play with water guns.
Yeah.
Ow!
Oh my gosh.
What? Where did I hit you?
We should really just like not live stream this.
No, this is the best live stream.
What's the point of this live stream? If the focus is not the game, if the main focus is not the game, what's the point of this live stream?
I don't know. Missing tin box. There had been a tin box in the cabin, not much larger than the book. Peter Carey's. Yeah, we are. Did it? Nope. Break-in attempt.
We
Nope.
are going to click everything
Oh god.
because we can.
watching it though.
Yeah.
Nope.
There's no point.
None of these. I don't think any of these correspond to anything.
We can try. And we don't care.
That sound like it. That sound like it was loaded. Well.
One more. Hey, I got some guns. Want to play with them?
Sure.
Yay, we got a link that we didn't care to figure out ourselves.
Ow!
Okay, so what are we looking at?
Clues.
Clues. Okay, we only got one clue.
Yeah.
No cat now.
No gardener. Into the
Nope.
wall. Nope.
These are tight.
Street is not the cover. Nope. Legs
As I expected.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's great.
Let's read this.
Task: make an ambush. An ambush must be made tonight to see if the break-in attempted will be repeated.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Oh.
Really? That's what we got? That's what we came across?
Yep.
What color do you like?
The obvious?
Yeah.
What color do you
Came
like?
across the obvious.
You came across the obvious. That's the first thing you come across.
I'll give you this.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn.
Let's fill up with water.
Isn't the sea unicorn a normal?
Someone drank.
Well, not a normal meal.
And Ryan went to these.
Yes, you have. Yes, we have.
Can we leave the crime scene now?
Yeah, I think we can. We have to set up an ambush.
An ambush.
An ambush.
One ambush.
I would like one order of ambush.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
I don't know, would you come back to the scene of a crime when the police are everywhere?
Yeah, that seemed really stupid.
Well, it's like we said,
What are the people?
we're having to write the character of a genius written by normal people.
Or everyone back then were idiots.
Like, maybe.
Everyone.
Maybe literally everyone was an idiot.
Mr. Holmes?
I mean, the policemen appear to all be complete morons, because the only thing they know how to do is say Mr. Holmes' name.
Because every police officer is writing on our team.
He's right, like he's there surfing on it.
Mr. Holmes?
To
We
fucking
don't actually do investigation, we just rely on Mr. Holmes' dick.
don't. Come on. Here. Are you serious right now?
No, don't.
No, this is not. I'm not doing this. Put it back.
Poor husband.
Mr. Holmes?
No.
You're going to get your electronics wet.
Yeah, exactly. This is all your fancy stuff that's gonna break.
Here, if he pulls the trigger, but block it with the keyboard.
Okay, but okay, because I know you're gonna do it. I'm putting my dick right under the keyboard, so you're not gonna make me look like I pissed my pants. You're just gonna ruin your keyboard.
Who could do such a thing? My poor
Who
husband.
can do such a thing?
Can we leave the premises now?
There's no maybe.
I want to leave the premises. What was the answer to that question in that movie?
The answer was that if the guy did, the answer was he did keep count. He was just trying to scare the shit out of the guy. Said that line twice. The first time the guy pushed out, says, "No, I give up." In the very end of the movie, the guy's like, "Nah, you're bluffing," and then he blows his head off.
That was bullshit.
This place, an object was taken from...
So we did get this.
Let's read it.
Do you mind? Yeah. Do you mind? Oh. Check it. Good check.
Where is that box?
Good point.
Where? Like, this is locked. Wait. This is obviously a break-in.
don't know. Maybe the guy opened. Maybe he opened the door and they had this confrontation.
Did you want to keep it?
No, thank you. And he says, "Oh shit, I murdered this guy." And he ran away. But then he figured, "Fuck, I still need to get back in there." So
There's a bed here.
there is a bed here.
Why do you have a bed here if you have a house right there? This is a literal doghouse.
Yeah, exactly.
When your wife really hates you
Yep.
that night, you just end up here.
It's alcohol, a tin of cigarettes, and it's a man cave. Man cave. He goes to hide from his anger.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Carrie's cabin near the window.
Mr. Holmes?
No.
It is a small
Alright,
bondage.
then we will do that. Whatever the fuck. There's a window here. Now. By Carrie's cabin. Who the hell is Carrie again?
I think the guy who was murdered. So we're gonna hide behind the cabin where he was
Mr.
killed.
Holmes?
Okay then. So I can leave this place. Just want to make my final rounds before I absolutely leave this place forever, for good. Even though we're coming back, we're gonna leave this place forever. Shut up, Inspector.
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in.
Damn it.
Door set.
Can't I? No, we can't. Well, whatever.
We're leaving. This place sucks anyway.
This place sucks anyway. How does one make a task?
Who knows?
Organized ambush. Mysterious intruder might be trying tonight. Wear. Select a suit to wear using your personal wardrobe.
We already did that.
Oh, okay, then never the fuck mind.
It'd be really embarrassing if we didn't do that before we left the house.
However, when we were just out in our rooms.
That was amazing. Unfortunately, the game didn't let us do that. By the second game, we would have unlocked all that already, so we can wear those clothes.
Appears to be size 8. A notebook with abbreviation.
A tobacco pouch made from seal skin,
Yes.
which is on the table inside Peter's cabin. The initials PC for politically correct. Which, a pouch made of seal skin is definitely not politically correct. The outline of dust on some of Carrie's shelves look as if something had been recently moved. Ship's logs from the years 1878 to 1884. A sharp knife was found on the floor near the bodies of Black Peter. The blade shows Black Peter. The blade shows no sign of use. Judith Carey is a woman with an uneasy life due to her unhappy marriage with Peter, but she is very religious Christian Catholic woman who undertook a St. James Way pilgrimage when she was young. The garden and the fields are well kept, and a capable gardener works here. Profile of the victim: Peter Carley, also known as Black Peter, born in 1845, and so 50 years old. He achieved great success in whale hunting in Scandinavia, retired in 1884, eventually moving to Woodman's Lee.
Okay, let's go back to our house.
Wait,
I cannot leave yet.
no, we have
I
to
am not
go back
finished
and
here.
go behind the cabin.
But I tried.
Do it again. We have to go behind it. No, to the right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I mean to the left, sorry. Like the other way. It's like, I don't want to do this. There we go. Here is where we will stage our ambush.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
The fate of Black Peter.
Did we leave the door unlocked?
Shh. Did you hear that?
We might have.
Maybe.
Nope, we didn't.
Ooh, this one is unlocked.
The lid off.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Oh, good, we got the bobbies with us.
Police! Hold it right there.
Organize the ambush.
The ambush.
We're in first person for some reason.
For reasons unknown.
Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught in our net.
We have a net.
Yeah, see, there's a net right there, see?
All right,
Oh.
my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah, right. So, this is how we're going. This is going to be part of our tutorial of like how to question people. Open the casse book. The casse book.
Casse
We already did that now.
Okay, then.
Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard.
It'd be really funny if Scotland Yard was just a Scottish man's like front yard, and that's where the police keeps all of the. What are you doing in my yard? I have a terrible accent. What are you laughing at? Fuck. Wakanda 2. Wakanda.
Mr. Holmes?
Oh boy, it's the pictures from before.
Yay!
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
No. Oh, okay.
Did the same pictures.
The same picture.
Oh, do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? And that's like it's either their most wanted or like the stand-in for instead of having an artist sketchbook, you just have a bunch of composites instead for a person's face. Now it's supposed to be like one of the big things in the in the late 1800s with police, where they basically were able to create like a giant composite like overlay book. So they don't need like an artist in every single police station.
What kind of artist is that?
They probably didn't have very good artists. So see, they have, but the top right here is like the bunch of the noses and ears, and they can use this to go, okay, did his nose look like that, or look like that, or what did his ear look like? Was it all cauliflowered like this? And basically that's basically what they had to do, because if you're a criminal, all you had to do was change your name and move to like another block, and the police couldn't find you.
Mr. Holmes?
But the composites made it so that they can be identified and found.
Cauliflower.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you get when someone punches you in your ear
These are
and it
the
gets all
suspect's
swollen and filled up with
belongings.
blood.
Oh no, he's married.
Is that the Ring of Power?
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson.
To my friend and partner.
To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Perfect, let's leave this place specifically.
A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
Pocket knife.
A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N.
Oh.
No shit.
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor.
Ooh, he dropped it.
He dropped it.
This is his.
These abbreviations mean something. But what?
Like what?
So we need more evidence.
Some more evidence.
So we have to look in the archives. But first, do you want to go?
We have to interrogate.
We have to interrogate them.
We might as well.
What are you doing?
Oh boy, we're gonna interrogate
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Gotham. Oh shit.
Oh. Oh no. Oh, that was a very not very
Does
unchristian
this
conversation
notebook
that's going
belong
on
to you?
over here.
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know. I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
Okay.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
Frank. Frank. Are we dropping off?
Shabby cat.
It's not that shabby.
A patch. Expensive fabric. What?
Huh. That didn't make sense.
Yeah. Elaborate buttons. Look. Short sleeves. He's got cigarette burns. Callus. Scars. Something else. His neck. Thin neck. He's got a thin neck.
He's malnourished.
Sea knife.
The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Well, answer the goddamn fucking question.
Well,
The
answer
police
question
seized this valuable
implies that he
ring
did
from
kill
you.
him.
Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
He stole that fucking jacket. Hold on. Father's jacket.
We're talking about the ring.
Oh, rings engraving.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
My friend and partner.
Rings engraving.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
That's the ring. Hurry! The ring is mine. Well kept, guarded in rings engraving. Father's jacket. Profile of the victim. Father's jacket.
I thought we already went over this. Is it not the rings engraving? We already went over it, but like.
Profile of the victim. Maybe father's jacket, because that jacket doesn't belong to him.
Yeah, but...
We can't say but the ring's engraving, though.
You sure? We're gonna go with it. Dang it. Never the fuck mind. Fine.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the
what?
true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford.
Yep.
You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else. Most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me...
Please let me know.
Yes, he can.
Two more links.
Yay, we did it.
We're going to make more links.
Yeah, sorry. Break-in
To
attempts.
make more links.
Peter is a non-smoker. Peter Carey had given up smoking. What? Okay. Yep, nothing. Nothing.
Okay then.
Fucking shittle. It's possible we might have fleshed out this conversation a lot more in the previous game we played. Oh! Experiment required. We need to find out whether an unskilled trained man can use a harpoon well enough to kill by fully piercing a body. Do you think that boy with the thin neck could
I'm
throw a
sure
spear?
that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Do you think he could poon a man? Retrieving the notebook, the break-in attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in a pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts.
Okay then. We're going to investigate further.
We're going to investigate.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Policeman.
The ring is mine. That made it sound like it was the Ring of Power.
Nah. To Baker Street.
It's time to do some. Take a nap. Nope.
Just continue then.
I will continue the continuation.
Continue on the continuation. Look through your archives.
What? Oh, this isn't even like a real thing anymore. Blood test. Oh, never mind. What?
Ignore him.
A heavy gold ring in the description from R. Dawson to my friend and partner. Vaporization, toxic metal in hair. What? Textile fiber, origin, chlorine. Okay, so it's going to be 18. The Bankruptcy Act. 1883. This looks relevant.
That is not the one I need.
Dawson and Nelligan are bankrupt. Oh. Dawson Nelligan Investment Fund bankrupt. Nelligan missing. The Dawson and Nelligan Investment Fund, a regional banking institution based in Cornwall, has declared bankruptcy as a result of heavy losses in its loan portfolio, and has accordingly been assigned for liquidation. It was the 23rd largest bank in Britain, and its bankruptcy was the second largest on record. The liquidation of the company is a pure catastrophe for many Cornwall families. Joshua Nelligan, one of the bankers, has since mysteriously disappeared. He was last seen aboard his yacht, preparing for departure to Norway. Nelligan is wanted both by the police and his creditors. Norway, huh? That's interesting. That the Black Peter was a whaler who did most of his whaling in Scandinavia, where, fun fact, Norway is.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Dawson has spied the Strand. Well, it catalogs every single dialogue in the game.
Nice.
Scotland Yard interrogation room. Does this notebook belong to you? Yes, but where did you find it? Oh, it just... Wow, that's weird.
Oh, at work today. I found an earwig.
Did you?
Yeah, on one of the tables.
That's fucked up.
It was weird.
What did it look like?
It looks like a small centipede mixed with a scorpion.
That's horrifying.
That's what I think it looks like.
That's so terrible.
In my brain, that's what it looks like.
That's
A centipede mixed with a scorpion, but small. And the thing is, it just fell off the table. Like, it walked off the table.
That's horrible.
It was creepy.
Did you kill it?
Yeah, I killed it.
That's good. You don't want any of your patients having their brains eaten by an earwig. Isn't that what would happen?
Maybe.
For fuck's sake. Didn't anyone try and chain him to the floor? Well, I guess he's got a thin neck, so the guards could just snap it. But then where would he be now? We still need to interrogate him.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress.
Alright,
Interesting.
So that's what that was.
Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Examine the ship logs. Shit logs. Abbreviations. ASMTY BRS ONTI TK Rano Jint Kapur Kuko Lu Pot and Kwe Asum Ti Burs Omti Tuk. Some kind of gibberish language. Examine the ship logs. Ship log for the year 1883 might put some light on the connection between Peter Carey and Nelligan's father. Alright. We need to find those ship logs somehow.
Mr. Holmes?
Maybe we need to investigate some more.
Locked.
It's locked. continuing with the stream. Where are you going? Okay. Open the door. Go back to Baker Street. Open the hospital. Ship logs. Alright, let's see what happened. What is this?
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
It is useful. How do I examine this? Peter Carvey was born in 1884 and was 50 years of age. He was a daring and successful seal and whale hunter. He commanded the whaler Sea Unicorn of Dundee, many successful expeditions. In 1884, he retired and traveled for some years. For the remaining 6 years of his life, he lived at Woodman's Lee. Alright, so Nelligan is approximately 19 years old. He was raised in wealth, but after desertion of his father 10 years ago, he and his family fell into poverty. He worked to earn money by cleaning fish. Despite undertaking such manual work, he is worked for a considerable time. Nelligan remains physically weak. Interesting.
My archive. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Okay.
My analysis table.
Okay.
It is useful for my work.
Okay, we'll talk to you.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
Right.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Alright, so we're going to spear some piggos. Alright, we're going to the Whitechapel.
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Oh, okay. We'll go to Woodman's Lee. Alright. So, we click the run button. There we go. I pressed the run button. This will go much faster now. Wait, over there. Did it go all the way around? Indeed, I might. Okay, I'm going to talk to his wife again.
Who could do such a thing?
Nope, she won't say nothing.
My poor husband.
God, this doesn't control that great. It's very uncouth. Hose running around like that.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Excellent. Oh, I need to look at these logs.
1883. That's the one I need.
Of course.
This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Okay. Sea Unicorn list. Peter Carey, Master Charles Ellison, First Mate Henry Joy, Second Mate James Lancaster, Helmsman Patrick Cairns, Harpooner Pablo Coventrero, Harpooner Ned Land, Harpooner Joseph Walker, and Steward John York. Cook Richard Lay, Sailor Simon Wesley, Sailor Isaac Page, Sailor Will Wright, Sailor Benjamin Tinsley, Sailor Matthew Granger, Sailor Ralph Talbot, or Tybalt, Sailor Seth Fowler, Sailor Roger Fowler, Sailor Thomas Lawrence, Sailor Hugh Pence, Sailor Henry Stephen, Sailor...
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual.
Okay.
Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away.
Huh.
Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away.
What the fuck is this? Canadian Pacific Railway.
Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Alright, now that I know that, let us consult with our bond certificate. Or rather, where's the notebook? There's a notebook. No, abbreviations. Okay. What the fuck? ASM, TK, CPR. Alright, so we've examined the ship logs, find crew Sea Unicorn. Find use. I have a use for this. Damn it. Let's look at more of our quest objectives. Okay, lead on latest and unusual thief. What role is that? Watson would be glad to help with harpoon throwing. Harpoon throwing experiments. Wiggins might help find crew of Sea Unicorn. Or should let's go Baker Street. Okay, good. Let's try the poon experiment. Whitechapel Pusher. There you go. We shall continue to the poon experiment. We will poon an animal. Okay. Zero to poon it.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Alright. We're going to throw
Holmes,
our poon.
you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Okay. Alright. Oh.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Damn it. Yes!
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Fucking asshole. Well, I only fucked up twice. Wait, can we at least eat this pork? Alright, let's go back to Baker Street. Open Facebook. Alright, so we got that. Task for Wiggins. Wiggins. We're gonna have Wiggins, I was reading for the police.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
Wiggins.
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
It's really weird. It's like fucking Spider-Varus. My birds are everywhere. Oh wait, that's right. I had to go out the window. Wiggins! Wiggins!
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Indeed, I will. Find the crew of the Unicorn, meet the Inspector Lestrade. Murderer, crime scene. Lestrade may have some new facts about the case. Right, to the yard! Alright, so, let's see. Quick deductions. Missing 10 blocks pinned to the wall. Like a butterfly, 10 blocks. Strength requirement. So, experiments prove that similar result with a harpoon can be achieved with extraordinary strength or hard training. It just carries bodies impaled through the harpoon to the chest like a butterfly. So what does this look? What does it look like? Alright, damn it. Some of the facts might be interpreted differently. Feats of strength. It requires a much greater strength than the average man to just be able to pierce a man's chest with a harpoon all the way through the wall. A degree of skill would most likely be necessary. 2 men in cooperation might achieve the same results. Huh. Lucky throw. There is a remote possibility that an unskilled and untrained man could pin Mr. Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon. Huh. That's an interesting one. Retrieving the note. Okay, good. Oh. Let's look at the deductions little bit more clues. The clues, rather. Missing tin box. Nope. We got nothing. But we gotta do is talk to the scribe.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
That was really funny. Look through Hurtley's belongings. He has a very violent family name. Right? Alright, let's take a look at this shit. Let's look at Hurtley's
These are the suspect's belongings.
Boots.
Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5.
Too small to be Peter's?
A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Okay.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals.
Interesting. Really nothing else?
These are the suspect's belongings.
Oh, it's just coat.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Look at this.
I wonder if these are connected.
Oh, now I can do this. Let's see, it is Canadian Pacific Railway. CPR. Canadian Pacific Railway.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Interesting. Alright. Let's interrogate this supposed... not the suspect. Although, I'm not sure if Scotland Yard is very good at, Liam Hurtley... Liam.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
All right.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
Let's look at Look at his cat. His eyes, his nose, his mouth, his ears. What do we got here? So it's got his face, his eyeball, more of his nose. What the fuck? He's got a scar on his neck. You got an old scar. Got a rag, handkerchief with a crest on it. Is that a crested tit? It is a crested tit. Maybe I should have read it actually before I tried to discern what it was. Plant remains. Oh, is this guy the gardener? This guy was the gardener. Gardener's hands.
That's all for now.
didn't even need to talk to him. I just looked at him and, nah, you're a gardener. I can tell. Okay, so I'm going to perform analysis. Okay, so I need to talk to someone about that. I need to use this somewhere. Okay, interesting. Okay. Liam Hurtley. Hurtley is a stranger who was arrested by the police as a suspicious individual seen prowling around at night near Woodman's Lee. He is a former soldier who left the military with an honorable discharge after having been wounded in the neck by shrapnel. Now he lives a quiet life, working as a gardener. He was holding a handkerchief with a crested tit of the same. And we can find so that they make a pair of crested tits that would be matched with Peter's wife. I'm gonna go back to Woodman's Lee and talk to his wife. Let's see what I can deduce from this. Non-smoker, gardener, missing tin box. Illigan's notebook was once there. Break-in attempts. Ooh. So it was a break-in when they attempted to find his notes. Okay. Retrieving the notebook. The break-in attempts were made in order to recover the notebook that had been lying in a pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts. Or, looking for papers. Nelligan was looking for his father's papers inside of Black Peter's cabin. It explains his presence at the scene of the murder. Alright, so this is so basically retrieving the notebook is that whoever was trying to break in to the cabin was the murderer. And we know that thin neck orphan boy, essentially, he's the one who tried to break in, and this is basically saying, yeah, he did it. He was the murderer. Or we can say that that's circumstantial. He wasn't there, he didn't murder him, but he happened to be there at the same place where the murder happened. Alright, so that's interesting. And basically this is basically saying that anyone could have pinned Peter to the wall. And that's also in favor of Thin Neck being the murderer. Or feat of strength. And I like the bottom detail. Two men in cooperation might achieve the same result. So he might have been a murderer. Or maybe it was two. If he was helped to try to murder him. Or it may be someone stronger than him. It's interesting. Anyway, we're going to talk to his wife. Alright? Let's run. I have something to tell you, Mrs. Carey. Tim Hurtley.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Motherfucker.
Who could do
Did I fuck up?
such a thing? My poor husband.
Oh shit. Well. Nope. Well, that was a bust. Now I feel stupid. Let's go to Baker Street. As we just stare awkwardly. Let's continue. let's go to our lab.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, so we'll take the blue reagent, I think. We'll pour it in. Alright.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
What? Okay, so after orange. Okay, so it's gonna be green. And then we add the, after green, we add the orange. After that, we use the colorless reagent.
No, something isn't right.
What?
I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Fuck. Okay. Alright, so instead of that,
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent.
Oh, I'm fucking
Third
stupid.
condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, okay, so it's gonna be a green reagent first. This is gonna start the sequence. Then it's gonna be blue. Then it's gonna be orange. And then it's gonna be colorless. Okay, then it's gonna be blue again, because that's the next part of the sequence. And then to continue...
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Okay. Am I stupid? Green reagent. I think that... Or no. Or am I dumb? I might be dumb. The third one after the first. Blue.
No, something isn't...
Okay. Alright. I did the same thing over again for no reason. I apologize for that. Okay. You're back. Oh, you didn't bring back your soda? Just kidding. Okay, so I'm having to solve this chemical puzzle.
Chemical puzzle?
Yep.
I love chemical puzzles.
Okay, so here. Oh, no. Put it back. So see, here's the puzzle.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Let me look at that again.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
So this is what I'm going to try. And the blue reagent first. And then it's going to be blue reagent first. Again. And then I'm going to use the orange reagent. Because it comes after blue. And it's the 3rd. And then colorless reagent comes after orange.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Again.
One game.
Damn it. Okay, how about this? Let's say the green... So I tried this before, and I don't know if that one works. Alright, let's try green first. And then blue. And then orange. It's the 3rd one comes after blue. And then after orange, we use the colorless reagent. And so I decided to use the blue reagent to restart the sequence. Or to put the space between them, however you put it.
No, something...
Okay. Alright, so I fucked up the sequence. Let me think about this some more. Right? So it's blue... What if I use the chemicals twice? So they're both blue. Now orange comes next. It's the 3rd after blue. Now, can we add this again and then add the clear afterwards? Let's see if that works.
No, something isn't right.
Nope. Didn't work. I fucked it up. So I think it goes... So we'll try again, except we'll do it differently. And then we'll do orange. Then we'll do colorless.
No, something...
No, we fucked up the first pattern. Okay, I think I know it. I get it now. Or do I? Okay. I think it's... So what I thought it was that it's green, start the sequence. Right? And then it's blue. So that makes orange the 3rd, and that means it comes after blue. clear comes after orange. Next is blue to start the pattern over again.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm going to figure this out. I will. Thank you. How about we try blue? Or is that just the same problem over again? Blue, then green, then orange. I'm doing the same thing over again.
What's this?
And make.
The pipette.
Then I'll do
yourself.
Orange again.
No,
Nope.
something isn't right.
Nope. So clear must go after orange every single time. Sure.
Okay.
Did I do this already? I feel like I'm going fucking crazy.
No, something isn't right.
Maybe it's blue? Green. Orange. Colorless.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
What if I can totally do this? Watson just goes out to buy really rare chemicals.
It's probably what's happening. So I had to do a poon throwing experiment, throw a harpoon at a pig, and he actually had, and Watson had to pay for all the pigs. I threw a harpoon at it, and I could only throw at it once. Okay, I need another pig corpse. It's like, fuck.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay.
So, in the novel,
Yeah.
the entire reason why Sherlock Holmes and Watson move in together is to save money on rent.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looks like they're both wondering, why can't we have a decent fucking apartment for less than how many talents?
Mm-hmm.
And then, bam, partnership, or rentership.
Partner rentership.
No, something isn't right.
Fucking up the...
I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
I'm trying to solve the puzzles. Why won't they stay solved? Maybe it's blue.
Okay, I'm eating too much.
Then it's orange. Then it's clear.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Here.
Okay, here you go.
Hand me a piece of paper and a pen.
Okay.
Okay, so write down all the combinations.
Okay. Okay.
And let me...
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Yeah.
Alright.
Got it? And clear. Slowing slow. Alright.
No, something isn't right.
Apparently that
I need to
breaks the
start the reaction from the beginning.
Okay, sorry, Watson, this is coming out of your rent.
Alright. Alright, so the first one you went with is green.
Yeah, let me see the paper.
Alright. It's green, blue.
Yeah, you don't need to. Okay, so green.
And that broke the sequence. Okay? Okay? Okay.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Orange, then white. All the
Orange, then white, all the time.
Okay. Green reagent.
Alright?
Green reagent.
Green.
Okay. 1 second. Green reagent. Orange reagent.
Or Holmes, why do you have like an incomplete recipe for this shit? Doesn't make any sense.
Because they like it. White reagent.
White reagent.
No, something isn't right.
That apparently broke.
I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Are you ready, Watson? Okay.
Apparently, green has to come first because it failed instantly when you put in clear.
Green reagent.
What? Or something like that.
Green reagent. Orange reagent. Wait, we're just gonna go in a circle like this.
Alright, so
I don't think...
then there's clear.
Clear.
Okay, so before you pick anything, the last time you did this is a...
Yeah, I know how it went.
Okay.
I'm gonna do...
What?
Yeah, that's kind of
So you either do clear or orange after this. It's one of those two.
I already did. Can I see?
Yeah.
Green, blue, orange didn't work. Green, blue, orange. Orange, clear.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Alright, so you picked clear, and then you picked clear again.
I'm not going to use green first.
Okay. You're going... So, where are you going? Blue?
What am I doing?
And blue again.
Blue again?
Then orange.
Orange.
And white.
Alright, let me see. So last time you did this...
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
What was the last chemical you put in? Did you put in clear twice or just once? Okay. Ready. Blue.
What's this?
Blue.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay, try some combinations while I can.
Okay.
I'm lost. What am I
solved it. I think? Yeah.
Done. Now I can proceed further.
Blue, green, blue, orange, clear,
Let us see if the
orange,
content
clear.
of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery.
It is blue to start the sequence, then green, then blue, and then it is orange. So, so the way it had on the diagram is that blue was the very first one, right?
Yeah.
And then it had 2 empty spaces after it. So the first blue is the start of the sequence. And then is the third after the second one. So it is blue to start the sequence, green, blue, and then orange. Orange is, and it's after blue. So it's not the third from the very first vial, it's the third from the sequence of green, blue, orange. And then it's clear, and it's orange, and it's clear again. I think, we're supposed to take the first diagram literally. So the orange is third.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, okay, fine, sorry.
You're over-explaining.
Well, you know what? I'm also over-solving. So take...
Always dad, never brother.
Oh my god, I'm confused. I have no patience for strategy games. Ooh.
Is that ye old tweet?
Yep. I did as you asked and hid them well. But I beg you to reconsider on ice and remember our vows. I have done nothing dishonorable for which you me.
Where the hell are we? Oh my god.
Yeah. I've done a lot while you were gone. Alright, let's see. The dialogue from a letter says from Hurley, a portion of the text successfully, blah, blah, blah. Art, page torn out, boots, more boots. Okay, so let me look at stuff, not that thing. Or is it Jim Hurley's letter? Some papers. Nope. No Gardner. Nope. Whoa.
What's up?
Huh. Found something on accident. Feeder strength, nope. Stolen valuable papers. Valuable bond certificates were kept inside a stolen tin box. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, what else? Why? Why did you fart very loudly? Okay, investigate the murder of Peter Carey. Expect the crime scene. John L.A. seems not to be the usual thief. What is the role in that? Liam Hurtley is a tough one. What is he trying to hide? Let's go back to Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
What did did you hide?
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
Well, kept Garden, Hurtley's letter, Gardener, Hurtley's boots, Carrie's boots.
We have other boots?
Oh yeah, we found his boots. Hurtley's letter.
I did as you asked, and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now.
Can I talk to him again?
I'm not saying another word.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
So I'll talk to Thin Neck. Break it.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
As high as it goes.
I was trying to find some information about my father.
Rings, engraving, sharp knife, bond certificate. So I found this earlier.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belonged to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
I'm not saying another word.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Alright. Like not how not to get caught in a murder. Been here already and looked for other things. Look through my stuff. Can you find a place to use the boots? Maybe I should go to Woodman's Lee and do some expert snooping. Stolen valuable papers. So, this is basically saying if, was Thin Neck was the one who was trying to break into the cabin, like by picking at the lock. And we can either say that, well, whoever was trying to pick the lock was the murderer, or they were just looking for the papers, and it was a coincidence that that guy was murdered. Right? And feat of strength, is it, and basically we were saying that, was it someone really strong that threw the harpoon that killed him? Or could it have been anyone? Was it just luck? In that case, Thin Neck could have been the one to harpoon that guy. Or did you have to be really strong to do it? Or did you need two people to do it? Interesting question.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around. Let us look at the garden. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Carrie's boots. No?
These boots don't match the footprints.
These aren't Carrie's boots. They are, in fact, Hurtley's boots.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
shit. I was supposed to look at the footprints again.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
There is a brain link. Hartley's footprints, no Gardner. Liam Hartley's boots match the footprints at Woodmansley's exactly. Judith Carey says that her husband took care of the guard himself. That does not sound feasible. She might be hiding something. Not feats of strength. Not retreat, not that. Unexplained presence. Tim Hurley's boots match the footprints at Woodman's Lee, thus proving he was there. Judith Carey denies he was the gardener. So I'm going to have a conversation with her. Alright. Tell me,
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Come on, lady, talk to me. I guess I shouldn't have talked to her before I had sufficient evidence. Well. Come on. Oh, goodness. Really, I couldn't try to talk to her again? Or is that just me fucking up?
Who could do such a thing?
So, it's funny, the gardener knew the wife well because he had a handkerchief with a crested tit on it. Oh, you're let's go back to Scotland Yard, see if they've got to say anything to say. Now that I've uncovered this Revelaton, see if he says anything.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Talk to me again.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Boots don't match. Or Hurtley's boots match.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Guard.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
All right. We're going back to Woodman's Lee. Back to Woodman's Lee. Nelligan's motive. John Nelligan could have been caught stealing bond certificates, might have been the motive for the murder to carry, or Nelligan's innocence was a victim of circumstance. He does not fit the portrait of the murderer, either by physical or psychological description. Tell me, miss, where are the tools kept?
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here.
Shed floor. Wood planks. Ill-fitting plank. Examol. There's the box.
Let us see what is in this box.
Really? So that obviously goes there. Excellent.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Liam, my dear, you have been so good to me all this time that I've known you. I cannot describe these feelings, but I suppose that they are sinful and no good can come from them. I fear what might happen. I fear going against God. I thank you for your care, but I cannot leave the man with whom I have been bound by God. It is his divine will, and thus my husband is the cross that I must bear. He makes my life a living hell, but bruises fade, and you must not worry for me. Oh my God. This is not good. Okay. I need to talk to you. Alright. You and Liam Hurtley.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Romantic correspondence.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Oh. Judith Carey's confession. Judith Carey's letter. Judith Carey begins to cry and says that she cannot forgive Hurley for what he has done, even though he still loves him. Judith Carey's letter. Liam, my dear, you have been so good to me all this time I've known you. I cannot describe the feelings, but I suppose they're sinful. I fear what might happen. Ooh. Fetus. Let's see. Desperate jealousy, Liam Hurtley loved Judith Carey so desperately that jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder. Unexplained presence. This Hurtley's motive. Liam Hurtley's relationship with Judy Carey gives a motive of killing Peter. Interesting. Let's see. Liam Hurtley's letter. Was this harmless flirting? It has been confirmed that Liam Hurtley was flirting with Peter Carey's wife and even fell in love, but it didn't go beyond the affectionate, but harmless letters are in words. Desperate jealousy. Liam Hurtley loved Judith Carey so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder. That's an interesting question. Investigate murder of Peter Carey. Maybe Wiggins found something. Right. Oh, dead asleep. Right.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
Hugh Patton, sailor. James Lancaster, helmsman. Patrick Cairns, harpooner. Ralph Talbot, sailor. John York, cook. Pablo Contravo, harpooner. He died a week ago.
This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
Sometime later.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
That's fucking it. It's nothing. Check Patrick Cairns. This pouch belongs to Patrick Cairns. It indicates his presence at the crime scene. It must still be proven.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Sailor's outfit. Look shabby.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch. Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Wait, oh, crap. Alright, now open the door.
What should we do next, Holmes?
We... Sewage pump. Wait, this is the same pub we went to last time. This is the same pub.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
While Patrick can't face the expression of his push, restrain.
That's the arm that killed 100 whales. Care to lose another 10 shillings?
Yes.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
I don't understand how this game's supposed to happen.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
I've had enough. You're too strong.
Come back later when you can use your arms again.
I think the fucking character profile. Am I stupid? Gold earring. Got a big bushy beard on him. What is this? Cheap clothes. Yeah, he's a sailor. He doesn't have a lot of money. Strong hands. Yellow nails. Probably. I imagine that's
He doesn't have vitamins.
probably sailor's tattoo. Let's continue.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Do I have to beat him twice in a row, or am I done?
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
No joke.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Bold Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumours about that one.
He was worse than all. A liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He's a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course.
Plant pouch, go to toilet.
Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Patrick Cairns. Patrick Cairns is an experienced harpooner. He knows how to poon whales. Currently facing unemployment and poverty, he can be found mostly often at the Sea Witch, a public house deemed popular by the sailors, whom he arm wrestles for money. Like many of his kind, he's a smoker, indicated by his yellow fingers. Let's look at some more stuff. Sure, 11:30. Garden, ship's logs, spoon, father's jacket, Milligan's story proven. The number of bond certificates in which Milligan's father disappeared were found in his cabin. Bond certificate. We found out what that was. Heard his letter. Boots from that. His boots. God, unidentified footprints. Correspondence. Murder. Peter Carey was trying to conceal the murder of John Neglin's father. Story August 1883. Cairns is a smoker. Patrick Cairns is a professional harpooner. Like many sailors, he's a heavy smoker and has his yellow fingers indicate. Oh yeah. Interesting. Patrick Cairns is a harpooner with a sea unicorn. Anything else? Nope. Go to the wrong place. To this button. So, he smokes and his pouch was found there, so he was there. Plant the pouch into Karen's pocket and determine if this pouch is his. That's funny.
Here it is.
What did you say? I mean, I'm back. Oh, I'm back from the loo.
Have you got any tobacco? We've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Oh, he's just talking about... He's talking about Moby Dick. Is he? That might be it. After Karen's pouch, stated that his tobacco pouch belonged to him, which proves that he was the scene of the murder. He's a harpooner. Okay. So that places him at the scene of the crime. Proves his guilt. Karen's confirmed the pouch belonged to him. This means he was at the scene of the murder. This proves his guilt. Confirmed the pouch belonged to him. This means he was at the scene of the murder, but it doesn't have to prove he's a murderer. It might. Stolen valuable papers. Valuable bond certificates were kept inside the stolen box. Gone. He had to be strong. He's a harpooner, which makes sense. He doesn't handle harpoon. His pouch was found at the scene of the crime, and so were cigarettes, which proves that he is a heavy smoker. With his pouch.
With his ass.
It's likely that he's guilty, and I think Nelligan's is innocent.
No, you're guilty.
And it could be Hartley was just a part of some heartless flirting. Welcome to Walker, Texas Ranger. Scotland Yard. Welcome to Scotland Yard.
I'm not saying another word.
What am I doing here? I've done...
Alright, so what do we got here? So Cairns knew Black Peter. He knew who he was, and he didn't like him. He's fucking poor. So he's poor, so he might have tried to steal the papers. He's strong, and he was a harpooner, so it was very likely he could have harpooned Black Peter. And he had his tobacco pouch, which was at the scene of the crime as well, which is interesting. Which means he was definitely there in that room. Which we can conclude that Cairns was guilty from that. But if we were to say that Nelligan was in fact guilty, where if we were to say that, we say, oh, the papers were stolen. These are his father's papers. We could say that he was looking. He stole the notebook and tried to kill him. But I'm on the side that he was just looking for him. Because he doesn't seem like he was strong enough to kill him. He doesn't seem the type. And there's nothing else really tying him to the scene of the crime. Besides the fact he tried to pick the lock. The fact he came back means he was just looking for the papers. That's right, and the papers were gone. So why would he come back to find them? Which means that he ran away, didn't take them, but when he came back, the papers were already gone. Why would he come back for them? So it cannot be Nelligan. Now, Hartley is an interesting case. Now, so we didn't find the papers because he only hid his letters there. He was in love with the dude's wife. It's possible that it was harmless flirting, or that he he was desperately jealous. I'm not sure about that. Unexplained presence. Liam Hurley's boots smashed foot. So he was the gardener, so there was a reason for him to be there. But why was Peter's wife so upset with him? Maybe she did think Hurley tried to kill him, or maybe she was just really emotionally shocked and confused, and she doesn't actually know if it was him. So, and all it is that the fact that he was a gardener and that he loved Peter's wife. That's the only thing that ties him to the murders. And then maybe he's trying to hide. But Cairns has the most evidence strong enough. He knew about Black Peter. He knew that he murdered the man. So it is, and he's poor, so he might have had a motive to steal the papers. He was strong enough and had the know-how to throw the harpoon. And his tobacco pouch and his cigarettes were at the scene of the crime. With all that combined, I think I'm willing to say that Cairns is guilty. Peter Carey was murdered by Patrick Cairns. Cairns is a professional harpooner. His tobacco pouch was found inside Carey's cabin. Patrick Cairns is a cold-blooded murderer. He has been found guilty of the murder of Peter Carey and must be punished, or absolve Cairns. Patrick Cairns killed Peter Carey, but the murder was not premeditated. It was a self-defense against an armed and irrational drunken sailor. What do you think, Joss? Nope. Dead asleep. Don't do it.
Okay.
Come on. I wonder. Did try to defend. He did try to attack him with a knife.
No.
Should we condemn him or absolve him? It's essentially just a robbery gone wrong, though.
Okay, sure.
Do you think that people who... This is like second degree... Would this be second degree murders or like manslaughter? This is probably second degree murder. Because he might not have tried to kill him. I don't know. Do you think he should be condemned?
Is he the one you were
So I was
harpooner?
That's the harpooner. And I know it's him, but I'm wondering, should we? Because he's gonna be hanged. Like they're gonna kill him. Like there's no ifs, ands, there's no way around it. Like the justice system is fucked, especially this period of time. So his life isn't just over. He's going to die.
Like either way.
But we can absolve him and say, hey, look, Black Peter was an asshole and a murderer, and he beat his wife. Maybe he deserved to die, and you were just trying to steal from a murderer, and you end up killing him in the process. Maybe I won't blame you for that.
Maybe keep your instincts cool, calm, and collective.
But he did kill him, though. He did try to steal the thing. I think Cairns is going to be
dead.
Condemned, yeah. Yes. I'm pretty sure you only fired 5 shots. Yeah, the 6th one's going straight into my asshole. The next day.
I think I did it. Do you feel happy?
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
What?
day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Oh my god.
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
I say that we will.
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! This is, oh, I didn't realize it was this. There's no fucking way I'm busy. Punch Out! I'm playing Punch Out! Oh!
Dude.
Lestrade, are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. He took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, he would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
Yeah, but you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us. You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed.
We did it. Alright. Okay, do you wanna... Peter Carey was... The fate of Black Peter. Peter Carey was murdered by Patrick Cairns, a professional harpooner, the only one capable of executing such an accurate throw. His tobacco pouch was found inside Carey's cabin. He is a cold-blooded murderer. You have decided to bring him to justice. Cairns is guilty. 16 clues found. Press to check your conclusion may spoil game experience. I'm willing to accept decision. I finish it. Your ranking, personality ranking, Justice Seeker. Fucking Kira over here. I do Riddle on the rails. Riddling on the rails. I actually think this is a good place to stop because I just finished the case. Yeah. It's like, alright? Sure. Yeah.
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes. As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is. The one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover?
Or rather,
Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
What is this?
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We're about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need help. Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours. You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That is the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Souvenirs. A harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. Black Peter. Alright. Well, I think that was a good place to stop. We found out who murdered Black Peter. We delivered swift justice as well as a swift punch to his stupid face. Anyway, that has been me, Hunter, and Jocelyn is asleep and cannot say goodbye. Alright, so today was a good stream. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.